So we want to look at solving linear equations, and we're going to have two things we can use to do that. The first one is the addition property of equations. And what this says is if you have two things that are equal, then if you add the same thing to both of them, you still have the same equality. It should be a B. Let's try this thing. B plus C. Then they're still equal. Likewise, you can also subtract the same number from both sides, and it'll still be equal. So why do we call it the addition property? Well, when you say I want to subtract a number, what you're really saying is I want to add a negative number. All right, so let's say I wanted to solve x minus 6 equals negative 25. Okay, so what I would do is, according to this property, is I could add something to both sides. So I'm going to add positive 6 to both sides. Now the reason why I'm adding positive 6 is because negative 6 and positive 6 will make 0. This will become negative 19. And then x plus 0 is just x. And so that's what I want to get. I'm trying to figure out what my letter is. So I'm trying to get it by itself. So I'm trying to get rid of the number that is on the same side of the equal sign with it. So, and then I could check if I wanted to. Let's check this. Negative 19 in place of x minus 6 equals negative 25. Is that true? Well, a negative 19 and a negative 6 make a total of negative 25. So yeah, that is true. So this is my answer, negative 19. It is the number that solves the problem. All right, so let's say the equation looked like 6 equals x plus 8. I'm going to solve that. But notice my variable is now on the right-hand side of the equal sign. That's okay. When you're looking at this, your focus needs to be on the variable. So you look at the variable, that's where my attention is. And then I'd look to see what's with it. And this positive 8 is what's with it. And that positive 8 is what I need to get rid of. Notice I'm not really focusing on the 6. The 6 is not relevant to what I'm going to decide to do. What I'm going to decide to do is get rid of this positive 8. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides of the equation. So this is just a shorthand way of, how I did it before I put it horizontally. Here I'm just putting it vertically. Positive 8, negative 8, that makes 0. So x plus 0 would just be x. And then 6 minus 8 is negative 2. So notice my focus is on the x. I'm trying to get the x alone, or whatever letter you're working with. And, I'm going to do stuff with the other side, but that other side isn't telling me what to do. I'm looking over here and I'm saying, oh, I need to get rid of that positive 8, so I'm going to do a negative 8. Let's do one more using this property. Let's say I want to solve 2 parentheses x minus 6 minus x equals 3 plus 4. So first thing I want to do is I want to simplify these two sides. So I'm going to start by distributing my 2 into this parenthesis. So 2x minus 2 times 6 is 12, minus x equals, well, 3 plus 4 is 7. And then I'm going to combine like terms. I'm still simplifying here. So I'm going to take 2x minus x. That's going to give me an x. I still have a minus 12 equals 7. And now, again, my focus is on this variable here. So I'm trying to get rid of this negative 12. So I'm going to add 12 to both sides of my equation. And that's going to give me, my answer is 19. And again, you could check these answers. I want to do a check real fast. Let's say 2 times 19 minus 6 minus 19 equals 3 plus 4. 19 minus 6 is 13. So 2 times 13 is 26 minus 19. 3 plus 4 is 7. Well, 26 minus 19 is 7. That equals 7, so that is correct. So this is my answer. Same thing up here. I could have checked this if I wanted. 6 equals negative 2 plus 8. So negative 2 plus 8 is 6, so that does check. So this is the answer to that problem. So I'm not really normally going to check a check, but you can check your problems and see how it's going. All right. The second property we're going to use to solve equations is we're going to, at this point in the course, call the division property of equations. Now, just to be totally 100% clear, this is not a real property. It's actually a different property. We're just calling it this for the moment because we don't have the tools yet, since we're limited to the integers, to really talk about the true property here. But this is good enough for what we need to do it for. So let's say we have two things, again, they're equal. Then this property says if you take A and you divide it by a number, that's the same as taking B and dividing it by the same number. Now there is a limitation here, and that is you can't divide by 0 ever. So I can't divide by 0 here, but other than that, this is a way of solving problems if you need to divide. So let's say I wanted to solve 3x equals negative 204. Okay? So, okay, I want to get x by itself. 3 times my number is negative 204. So what I want to do is I want to say, since I'm multiplying here, there's a multiplication going on. If they're touching, they're multiplying. I'm going to divide by that number that's multiplying. So since I'm dividing this side by 3, I need to divide this side by 3. Now, 3 divided by 3 is 1. So this would be 1x, or an x, equals, and then 3 goes into 204. Well, negative divided by a positive is going to be negative. 3 goes into 2, no, 3 goes into 20. 6 times, that'd be 18, so 2 left over. 3 goes into 24 8 times, so negative 68. So whatever you're multiplying by, that's what you're going to divide by. So let's say I said, well, okay, let's solve 6x minus 2 times x plus 8 equals 12. So I want to solve that. Okay, well, first I want to clean it up. So, well, actually, never mind. Let me back that up. We don't want to do this yet. Getting ahead of myself. Let's just do 6x minus 2x equals 24. So what we want to do is combine like terms. 4x equals 24. And then I want to get rid of the coefficient of 4, this multiplier of 4, by dividing both sides by 4. And x equals 6. So whatever my coefficient is on my variable, that's what I'm going to solve by. And it doesn't matter if it's on the left or the right-hand side. If you had 20 equals negative 5x, you would divide both sides by negative 5. Again, just like with the previous property, your focus is on the variable, and so you look at, well, there's this negative 5 attached to it. I need to get rid of that. So since they're touching, the way to get rid of that is to divide. Since they're multiplying, the opposite of multiplying is dividing. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 5. And then that's going to give me x equals 20 divided by negative 5 is negative 4. So always start with the side where your variable is on.